I just caught this over a Talking Points memo. Steve Halber writing. Excuse me, Sahil Kapoor writing. Steve Halber did the AP photo. That Philip Puckett was this Democrat. He was the swing vote in the Virginia legislature. Terry McAuliffe, you'll recall, just won the governor's seat. He has not yet been inaugurated. And when the legislature was considering expanding Obamacare, expanding Medicaid in Virginia so that working people who fall into the red state donut hole, they're making enough money. It might be only $5,000 or $10,000 a year, but they're making enough money that they don't qualify for the state Medicaid for deeply poor people, for the disabled, for the totally unemployed. They don't make enough money for that, and they make too much money for that, and they don't make enough money to qualify for subsidies under Obamacare. Because Obamacare was written in such a way that assumed that every state would take Medicaid. Of course, John Roberts in the Supreme Court blew a hole in that. So this guy, Philip Puckett, at the urging of Republicans, they offered him a job with the Republican-led State Tobacco Commission, big bucks, and they were going to give a judgeship, a cell phone, and a car to his daughter. This guy leaves office, and thus the Republicans take over the Virginia legislature, and they kill the expansion of Medicaid to the working poor. And, I've talked to Terry McAuliffe a lot of times. I don't know him, but I mean, he's been on this program probably 20 times in the last 10 years. And, there's part of him that's kind of huckster salesman, and there's part of him that's politician, and there's part of him that has some understanding and some integrity. And that third part, I think, came out. He left a voicemail on this guy's answering machine after the guy took the Republican deal. And the voicemail says, "Hey, Phil, Terry McAuliffe. I wanted you to know we just lost the vote, 20-19 in the Senate. Medicaid is done. I hope you sleep easy tonight, buddy." Philip Puckett, just like Rick Scott in Florida, just like Bobby Jindal, just like Rick Perry down in Texas, he has blood on his hands. He's got the blood on his hands of the people who are going to die in Virginia because the Republicans refused to expand Medicaid. In fact, if you go over and take it a step further, go over to the Daily Beast and thedailybeast.com. They just published a piece titled by Malcolm McDougall, who is now dead, titled "How the Healthcare Bureaucracy Killed Me." And the subtitle summarizes the whole thing. Malcolm McDougall, a prominent speechwriter and creative director, was diagnosed with prostate cancer earlier this year. Even after the passage of the Affordable Care Act, his insurance company delayed and denied cancer treatments, despite McDougall paying his premiums. Here's what he wrote. He said, "How far will," and this is this guy writing this as he's dying. He's dead now. "How far will a health insurance company go to deny coverage when you're really sick? How willing are they to risk their customers' health and possibly their lives? Let me tell you my experience with Health Republic and its affiliate MagnaCare." And then he goes on to say, he says, "For 5 months, ever since I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastasized prostate cancer, they refused to pay my medical bills. On October 20th, a nurse with Health Republic overruled my oncologist and my primary care physician and declared that a critical test to determine the progress of my cancer was unnecessary." Health Republic and MagnaCare. This is why, these companies, these so-called health insurance companies, they're really banksters. That's what they are. They're money men. They don't, no health insurance ever gave a kid a vaccine, never diagnosed a disease, never treated anything. They handle the money. They're banksters. And they have that same pathological personality disorder that banksters have. Money at all costs.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit ThomHartmann.com for audio and video archives.
This is why there should have been a public option, and it's not too late, to make the option being, hey, I'd like to buy Medicare rather than one of these for-profit companies.